live. I think I'm live. Hey, I'm so glad to see you all. Listen, I decided to start a little early so that I could practice talking because I'm just super excited to ask professional questions. Soul Sister from Clarity. I can't read. These are the wrong glasses to see your questions, which is why you have to send them in through the website. So definitely send them in through the website. My name is Constance Messmer, and I have had mystical experiences my entire life. This is not the official beginning. I will start the official beginning promptly at noon, but I just thought I'd start to say a few things initially. And one of the things I wanted to say is, oh my God, are you guys feeling all this energy happening on the planet? Like, wake up, everybody. Wake up. Start living from your higher conscious awareness. So I like times like this, I pull out my little mini globe and I hold it and I send it, the earth and every being on it, light and love and healing and higher conscious living and prayers of hope, prayers of compassion, peace, awareness, connectivity, and just really holding all who we are up as high as possible for our greatest healing potential, especially at a time when we're so connected, but need to be more connected. We're so connected through the airwaves, but we need to be connected more spiritually, in my opinion, so that things can really move to these next levels of vibration that we're called to turn to as we awaken consciousness. So, yeah, I was like sitting in my meditation time. This is great advice for empaths that feel everything happening on the planet or in particular countries, and you want to send healing and love and light, or you feel powerless. No one's powerless, not really. And so it's really about holding that vibration of love and peace and light and enlightenment, and setting that intention. So hi, everyone. And it's like almost noon where I am on the East Coast of the US, but I know that many of you are signing in from all over. And if this is your first time joining me, even though this isn't the official start, you can send in your questions through my website, constancemessmer.com. I have a section dedicated to your asking the questions, and then I'll answer them either here or in a short form content or future lesson. I'm writing a lot of books right now. They're like this lineup of books that I'm working to address, because I just think that sometimes you have questions and they deserve like a real thorough answer. And so to give you that airtime and the confidence as you move forward in your journey, I want to make sure that I explain it clearly. Plus, I'm just I'm just that kind of girl, just a little thorough that way. I like to be thorough. So I'm going to put my globe that says, "It's official, you're awesome" coffee mug. I'm going to put it over here to remember how we're all connected no matter where you're tuning in from, which I love that you are. So I'm just checking the time, 11:52. So how is everyone? I hope you're good. I hope you're good, everyone. Oh my God. Oh. I see some names flying in. Ground Zero, Maggie. Love it. People from Florida. Iverness, Florida. I got to go to Florida. It's much more warmer than here. Oh, I'm so glad you love the classes. And then people, it's morning in some places because it's not more, well, it is kind of morning still, right? Till we hit the high noon mark. And some people are saying good evening. So I know you're tuning in from all around, which I adore. Oh my God, you guys make me cry. I'm going to cry. I'm such a crying girl. So hello from Connecticut, not far away at all, right? I'm in Massachusetts, and I am Maryland, Scotland. Look at all these places. I love that. I have family history in Scotland. I really got to go to Scotland. So totally, everyone, welcome in. And I'm so excited you're jumping in. What else did I want to say for you early attenders? You're like me. I used to get to class early usually. What else do I want to say? God, I feel like crying. So I might cry. I'm just like starting to tune in. Maybe I'll tell you how I do this, right? How I do this. Oh yeah, people. So many people are saying things. Portugal, hey Anna, I got it. I can't wait to meet you, Anna, in real person. Minnesota's stoked. I've been to Minnesota. I love it. Arizona, I love Arizona. And Canada, oh my gosh, I love these places. I've been to many of them. I need to go back now as me in this way, doing my work differently. I went mostly for spiritual retreats in various parts. I know I was an Anasazi Indian in Arizona in another lifetime. When I go there, I just weep and fall apart because of the connection to the earth. So there's Kathy, my sister's chiming in, saying hello and nice to see everyone here. She helps with she's my comment liaison, so she fills a lot of the information and helps you with your process of the work. And also shout out to Chris Mendez, who is my lead editor with the YouTube team. And so she is one to be sending links about the various videos that might be helpful. A lot of the content questions that are coming in, some of them I've already addressed in previous lessons. And I know it seems daunting to go through some of those videos and wait for your answer to show up, but the work really is an evolutionary journey. And I'm all about giving you everything I know to help you on your journey, to help you develop your innate skills and talents and enhance your connection to yourself and the greater truth, and also to others, whether other is people in your life and animals, or people on the other side, or angels, or divine consciousness, God, source energy, or even time traveling, using this work to go back to past life connections or future possibilities and potentials. I think if you were to ask me what's your forte, I'm just a good listener to spirit, and so I get the information in, and it then, I just deliver content on a lot of different levels, which is why I'm in the process of writing a series of books, so that will be helpful for you. So you can just find your place right in each one and dive in and maybe read all the books that come out, but also pull one off the shelf in my collection that will eventually get to your hands and learn what you exactly need to know. So I just want to thank you before we even start. I want to thank you for showing up early, like me. Like, let's get going. That's fabulous. So I'm in my studio. Do you know, it's so funny because when I first started the podcast episodes, I think I told you this last time we were together, I just recorded them. They were audio recordings, which is why you're seeing so many audio with B-roll, those images. And it's because I didn't do video recording. I'm starting to do that more and more, but I have I don't know, God, are there 130 episodes that are audio? And so instead of re-recording and trying, to hook in again and channel a lot of that information, I just decided to hire a team of creators. So shout out to my wonderful YouTube creator team that puts the videos together so that they can be available to you. You can go on my website, constancemessmer.com, and click on, I think it's about, and then you get to the team. I don't know, in there's the team. So if you want to see faces to everyone who helps bring the content to you, they're all there, and little bios about them, which is great. And I couldn't do it without them. So I was going to tell you what do I do when I do this. I pulled 2 angel cards today. I love those angel cards. They came out of England, I believe. And they're little small cards. Of course, I don't have any on my desk here in the studio. And I pulled the purpose card. And I was like, yeah. And then the power card. And so I was like, geez, can't get any better than that other than love. But God was like, there's always love. Like, okay, yes, true. So what I do, look at these. I decided to go curls today. It's a little crazy, a little wacky curl. So what I do is I open up for the highest good to come forward and deliver messages to all of you. And then I take the time when I look at the question and read it to you, I take the time to go in and ask Tara, my wonderful COO just brought me my angel cards. Look, I think there's the power card still at the top. Power, I love it. It's so good. And this is just for all of you, right? This is the power card. So tapping into your power, which is what we're talking about, and respecting and honoring it as well as those of others. So I'm just so grateful for the team and everyone. So I should probably close my eyes. I'm like looking, going, what do the cards say? But I just pull these on random just to be like, what's the theme today? Or what do I need to be reminded of? And of course I could just ask, right? I could ask my wise self. I could ask source energy. I could ask my angels and guides. And often I do, but sometimes it's just fun to pull a card and have that reminder. So I just brought one, and it's inspiration. And you all are an inspiration for me because your questions help me see where you're at with the content and what you want to know more about, so that I can create more content that's in line with what you want to know. So when I do this work of my own accord, mostly I'm a channel, so I just get the information and I pass it along, but it comes out of me directly from them. So it is channeling. In other words, I just set myself aside and let them write through me or speak through me when I'm doing speaking sessions, as opposed to when I act as a medium. And when I act as a medium, very different, those two words. I don't like that they're being messed up on the internet right now. I'm all about contemporary language so that you can have, just really strong psychic development and be skilled at this, but we all need to be on the same page with language. And so it's noon. It's noon Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. Welcome. I'm so stoked you're here. My name is Constance Messmer. I have had mystical experiences my whole life. And I decided, instead of, I've done like 3 decades of professional work, doing consultations, healings, mediumship sessions, energy work as a Reiki master or teacher, one-on-one sessions, group sessions, traveling a little bit, writing a couple books that are on just self-published, right? And so I'm looking for a mainstream agent and publishing house because I have a lot of other content that I want to deliver and share with you so that you can be empowered on your own journey. My core message is that we are body and soul, and if you only live through your physical senses, you're missing half your life. And my work is to empower you to remember you have 11 soul senses, and those are the ones that can help you navigate your life, get in touch with your wise self, your higher conscious awareness, and it's through your higher consciousness that you connect to realms of spirit and to each other through the soul senses. And so that's predominantly what I teach, but I teach a lot of the nuances. And then what you want to do with that information is up to you, right? Do you want to use it just in your personal life, or do you want to use it in your professional life to navigate boardroom meetings or working with clients or working with your team members or better solutions for the planet or whatever? And then also, do you want to use it as a professional to do energy healing or to do mediumship or to do giving reads for people in whatever format you choose to? So you can really use this content that I teach in any way. I think it's, what am I going to do? I am going to say, if I weren't me, I would want to listen to my content because it's free. It's free. I'm not asking you to sign up for a workshop or pay a lot of money for a membership fee or anything like that. And I probably could. I'm gonna cry, but it's not my calling to do that. And so I'm holding out and trying to do as best we can by making this work available to everyone, no matter how you are financially. And so I rely on people buying the books. That's helpful. I rely on subscribers, especially to the YouTube channel, but also to Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, because it helps organically create money. I don't even know how that world works, but especially the YouTube subscriptions help, and getting the content out there so that other people can find me and continue to make it available. But I do have memberships tiers on the YouTube channel, and and crazy girls. And I am grateful to my members. So a shout out to the members because you help curb the costs of the content so that I can continue to make it available for everyone. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. So I just thank you, Foodie Lovin' In, for buying the journal, and it's great. Thank you. Wait till you get the book. I'm working on the book, Soul Senses book, so that'll be really good. And I think, I hope so far so good. And I just finished a really cool chakra book. The chakra book is going to be important. I use chakras in everything that I do, so that's cool. And if you remember, you got a little video, or no, I think we made it a community post. So if you're not a YouTube community person, go join as a community person and see the voicemail I left you. It's a secret message. It's not so secret now, right? So I am, I'm going to cry. God, what is going on right now? I think it's because March was hard, everybody, right? There was a lot going on astrologically, a lot happening. I got a lot of, people reaching out, having tricky parts here and there, a lot of growth opportunities. We're all shedding skin. We're all being called to rise up to a better place of human evolutionary journey. And I really feel that part of that is use of soul senses to help you realize how connected that you are to each other. Some of you said March was terrible. It was really hard. And I think part of April is still feeling a little uncomfortable. I'm like, I think we're finally out of Mercury retrograde today. So I'm like, wahoo. I love it. So let's get in on the questions. And listen, I just wish I could see all of your names and your hey, hi, and everything coming in, but I don't have the right glasses on to do that. I will one day. Anyway, so I am going to start in on the questions. A lot of great questions came in. You can go to constancemessmer.com to submit your question. I skim them in advance so that I can kind of put some that are similar by each other, and then I don't really read them wholeheartedly until now. And what happens sometimes is I'm going to tell you as I go. I wish I had a reality TV show. That would be a blast, because I would tell you how I work with my life, right? Incorporating what I do into my daily life, not just when I used to do reads and healing sessions and channeling and mediumship for people. So, that's what I started to tell you before it became noon. So, but I don't remember what I was going to say. So I was mostly saying about contemporary language is important, and we all have to be on the same page. So when I do this, that's what I was trying to say. When I do this, I go from my own knowledge base for, I've been, like I said, I've been doing this professionally for since, I can't remember, 30 years, whatever that is, count backwards. But before then, I was having mystical experiences, sitting with spirits, talking with spirit my whole life, angels, God, mostly. And then I started seeing loved ones that had crossed, and then I started talking to them. And so I deliver message as a medium, where I will hear the message and pass it along to you. I might go into channel mode, where I'm letting spirit speak through me so that I don't go through my own filters, and it might be that they're at such a frequency that I need to let them just speak right through me. And that's that. So very different experiences, channeling and mediumship. Don't let anyone tell you it's the same thing, because it's not. So more of that in my books called Connections, I think, or a soul book. So from Ramia, Romia, I heard a voice say hello to me while in the kitchen one day. I said hello back, and they said hello again. I wasn't afraid. Could this be a guide? Thank you in advance. Absolutely. It could be a guide. It could be someone. See, right now, I'm not psychically reading you because this is a content question. So I'm answering in a generic way. Otherwise, if I psychically went into you and looked in the ethers as to what was happening in your kitchen that day, we can go back in time, right? That day, then I would give you a more thorough answer. But on a surface level answer, yes, it could have been a guide to you. It could have been someone that inhabited the kitchen before. It could be a neighbor's, someone, distant relative who knew they could talk to you because you could hear them. So it could be that they were like, all right, you can hear me, so I'm going to say hello to you, and so on and so on. So my suggestion to you would be to, in those moments, is to say, I heard you. Listen, I always say, close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, because in doing that, you're tuning into the vibration of where that information or those words are coming from. So you can close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, and say, I hear you. Who are you? How do I know you? Who'd you come with? Where are you from? And all the while, remember my clairsensation? It was like the first soul sense lesson. Clairsensation is about how does it feel? How does it feel? It's really hard not to like tune in and go, I want to read your questions. One day maybe I'll do a live that I'll do just that I'll try to have like, like a glasses on that can read the questions at a distance. So, but anyway, that's the thing, is that when you ask those questions, when someone says hello in your kitchen, it could be a guide, but it could be, your neighbor's granddaughter or that passed that knows that you hear clairaudiently. But remember, clairsensation, that's what I was saying, is how does it feel? Do you get tingles? Does it feel like expansive and good? Is it someone you want to talk to? You're going to use all those parts of your soul senses to navigate the conversation, right? The dialogue, the exchange, because it's not always just auditory. It can be more advanced than that, or in different ways, I guess. So I hope that answers your question. It could totally be a guide, but in that moment, you'd have to say, are you a guide? But you could just say, who are you? And then when they gave a name, or they might give an impression or a visual, and then you just back and forth. Who are you, and what are you here for, and what are you asking me, or what do you want, or what are you about? And then when in doubt, watch my trickster videos, in case there's any of that. So the next question comes from San in London. So this question is, could you please describe the dark night of the soul from your point of view? I'm finding it very painful and challenging. I sometimes even find myself on the verge of giving up all of this psychic development stuff, because it feels like I've been on a fool's errand for so many years now, and can't help but wonder why others have a much easier time connecting and also have skills open up effortlessly, what looks like it from the outside anyway. While after several years of practice, it feels like I've not made any progress on this path. Doing the daily meditation, covering with light, grounding, clearing, cutting cords, etc., is it just that I'm not cut out for this work? Perhaps I should redirect my time and energy to another pursuit that doesn't feel like I'm banging my head on a door that will never really open to me. Sometimes I get so sad that you're feeling so sad. So San in London, no, you're not on a fool's errand. And because it feels like I've been, where was that one part? Is it just that I'm not cut out for this work? Everybody's cut out for this work. Everybody is soul first. We all have soul senses. It's about tuning into them and understanding and how to use them. And I hear that you're saying you're doing daily meditation and cutting cords and covering with light and everything. So if you're having times where you're not getting a connection, and I had several questions come in like this, and there's a couple more that I'm going to also ask, is I want you to remember that sometimes with this, it's that you need someone to deliver a message to, and sometimes it's much easier. When I used to teach classes and I had students come in and in-person classes, and they said, I'm not getting anything from my guides or angels, and I said, just still, the next round of material that I'm going to teach you specifically, because we've already studied all the clairs, the empathic clairs, and we've studied the chakras. The next set of material that I'm going to teach you is connecting with guidance and how to navigate those fields. And that will be helpful too. But sometimes when you're not getting guidance for yourself, it's because it's much easier for you to get guidance for others. And so this is when it's a great opportunity to either practice this or attend a live meditation or mediumship class and learn locally or wherever if there's a group one, and then practice giving reads on each other with a trusted teacher so that you can, have someone that nurtures and uplifts you not discourages you. So the thing that I would say is that, San, when I scan your energy field, no, I think you're gifted a very heightened healer. And I think that you hear spirit differently. I think it's, now see, I'm going in, right? I think it's, I'm getting that it's more claircognizance, which is knowing. So it's not a hearing, a seeing, a physical feeling, an emotional feeling, that it's more claircognizance. It's just knowing. And I think it would be best extrapolated in a one-on-one situation. Maybe when you're talking to friends and all of a sudden wisdom just pours through you. This is higher level frequency information. This is angels and divine consciousness moving through you. This is your wise self connected to source energy and kind of this frequency of knowledge so that you can be a helpful friend in those situations. And you're like, what did I just say? Or they say, oh my God, you were so helpful when I had that issue. And you're like, I don't even remember what I said. Those are cues that you are on it. You're on it. And those are soul senses. Those are you using claircognizance predominantly. A lot of people use the word intuition blanket term, but no, claircognizance is the only intuition in my work, in my world, because there's no reason. And usually if you, well, not usually, but if you're hearing something and seeing something, you have to use reason to understand what just happened. With claircognizance, it's a knowing. There's no processing in the brain other than just, you just know it. So I definitely feel like joining a local class, if you can do that, a mediumship circle will help put it into practice, but also recognize when you're with friends or family and you're all of a sudden doing deep listening and you kind of zone out and you're like, wait, here's an answer. hello. And then you would be like, where did I get that answer? Where did I get that answer? And it might just be wise self thread, but it may be that you might have an overwhelming feeling that I got it from outside myself, not from within myself. So I would try these things. So back to the question, wow, Spirit just said, answer the dark night of the soul. I'm like, okay. So dark night of the soul. I think John of the Cross, started, or gave that term, right? I also know Mother Teresa of Calcutta spoke of a dark night of the soul. When I learned about her experience, I've never read anything of John of the Cross, but I think it's John of the Cross. God, I hope I'm not wrong. Is it John of the Cross? Can you guys look it up? They're like, go, you're fine. Teresa of Calcutta. It was when I watched a film and I saw that experience with her having that kind of feeling, like I don't get answers. You used to talk to me. I'm not feeling you around. I don't get it. I remember thinking, God, if I could just talk to you, but she had passed. Well, I could talk to her, right? But what I really got, because I did a psychic read on her, and I was like, oh, this is what's going on. I did a psychic read and went into her chakras, and I was like, oh, this is what's going on. Your vocabulary has expanded so much with divine source that it's no longer clairaudience. It's not about you hearing it. You're looking, you're turning to the old form of how you would have communication, and it's more claircognizance. It's pure knowing. And so this whole way of receiving information or guidance or yes, I'm going to use these words. You're either going to be okay with it or not. God has flipped on you, Teresa, or maybe San, that it's not the usual way, or not even in some of the taught way, that it's more so that you're supposed to get into the flow of life and notice you're called to do this. And then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, something shows up, or you see something, or there's the answer you've been looking for, or you're compelled to buy that thing and you don't even know why you need it. And, I'm very conscious of over consumption on stuff that we don't need, but maybe you're compelled to buy something. And next thing you know, 2 days later, a friend is like, God, I need this thing. And you're like, oh my God, I just bought this. Must be for you. And that's you being in the flow. So I think I would have told Teresa of Calcutta, if we were pals back then, I would have said, honey, I that sound bad, honey, Mother Teresa, I just think you should recognize the different ways that you are being communicated with God, or how God is communicating with you in the divine presence, in the mystery of now, not necessarily in your meditation time or in the moments that you're asking, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? And just that the path unfolds. And I think she came to that. She was like, oh, if it works out, then that's your yes. And I think that's what God wants us to be, is, fully in that divine presence, so that it's incorporated in the lifestyle that we live. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So that's what I'm going to say about that. Dark night of the soul. I definitely have friends that have gone through this. Do I do believe we have pivotal moments in our astrology or in our life where stuff is surfacing and we're having to look at the darkness and the shadow energy, as Jung would call it? Absolutely. But do I think that means we're cut off from source energy? Never. And do I think that we're cut off from our wise self? No. No, you're asking my opinion. No is my answer. I don't think we are. I think that we just forget that maybe it's changed, right? Maybe the relationship or the relationship to ourself has changed because it's growing and expanding. And so try the different things, which is why I teach all the different 11 soul senses, because, you know, you might be strong at some and weaker at others, but it will shift. It will shift. And definitely the way guides and loved ones on the other side and your dog or your pet or your cat or whatever, or your horse or trees communicate with you is at a different frequency and a different collection of those clairs than if you're conversing with angelic light and source energy. They're higher frequencies, so it's more claircognizance in those arenas. So yeah. So I just want to remind you, if you've just joined, that my name is Constance Messmer. Welcome, welcome. So stoked that you're here. And I've had mystical experiences my whole life, and I've decided to teach how you probably do too. You just need to start recognizing it and getting as much information as I can to you about the skill set and the vocabulary so that you can develop this to better your life in our world, really. So remember that some of the questions that you might send in have been answered in previous videos, in lessons that I have. I have a huge playlist on the YouTube channel, and sometimes when you ask questions, it may deserve a longer video, so I might create a short out of it if I'm not answering your question today or in the future. So this one question comes in from Diane from California. I do hope that helps, Ann. From Diana from California. I'm going to try to find the question. I started my journey last year. Ever since I have searched for information to read, to listen to, and to practice. I took Reiki level 1 and 2 and also had a mentor for 3 months. However, I feel as if I need more guidance. I have joined mediumship circles the last few months, but I seem to get stuck in my feelings. In my feelings. Do you mean ego or clairsentiment? You have to be clear with the question. See, I'm like, Diane, I'm struggling with what you're saying there. And then I have to go clairpensée, and I don't want to do that. I get a name here and there, but not to the point where I can hear spirit. I do have vivid dreams and remember them. I try to meditate daily, which I know has helped me to connect. Good for you. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm having a hard time understanding the entire process. Listening to you on a daily basis has definitely helped me. Yay, good you. Is there any advice you can give me to help me in my journey? I know that it will take time to learn and practice. Will definitely help me. Thank you for taking the time to read my email. I appreciate it. I appreciate you for writing. So when you're saying you're doing mediumship circles, are they working with discarnates or giving messages? So medium means just that you're relaying a message that you hear. So you're either hearing a message from a loved one that has crossed, or even a person that's alive that is not present in the room with you. Or mediumship could be in regards to, I'm getting this information from guides and I'm passing it along to you. So I'm not sure if it's a mediumship, discarnate, or guides. And then I get a name here and there, but not to the point where I can hear spirit. So what I think, Diana, I'm doing a little clairpensée, like if I was your teacher in class, you know what? Let me tell you this. Is there an instructor to the class, or are you all just like, hey, let's all get together and try a mediumship circle. Let's try this out, which would be interesting. When I used to teach the classes, Diana, you know what I used to do? And I'm going to do this when I come to your town and city and country, is I go around and I would be like, stand right by you, Diana, and I would look at the person and I would tap into what you're getting, how you're getting it, and what you're seeing in them. This is what I would do. I would do like, I would be all over the place. Me? No, not you, Constance. Yes, I would be. So now I'm trying to go, wait, what are you doing? So if you have an instructor, I don't feel like there is an instructor. I think it's just circles of people. But if you had an instructor, you could say, hey, can you lock into me to see how I'm getting information and what I could do differently? So now I'm kind of going, all right, Diana, I'm going to try to do that, to go, I think you're too grounded in the work. I think that you're getting it from here more than going higher to spirit. So I would do a few things. I know you're ready for this. So I would say, because I know you want to help. You totally want to help. Did you even say that? But I know you want to help, and I know you want to be a medium. I know you want to give guidance, and I know you're here to do that. Because I see this headset on you, like I'm an operator. So I see that that's what you're going to do. Here I go. I'm giving a little mini read. Didn't mean to do this. But if you could get with a class where there's an instructor, then that would be cool, because why? I don't know. Let me see where I'm going with this. When you get a name, this is what you do. When you get a name, close your eyes, because I want you to focus inward to holding that connection. When you get a name, you tell the person, do you recognize that name? Does that name mean anything to you? And then if they say, no, it doesn't, then go right back to the name and say, I heard, and it doesn't matter if you don't see them. You can follow the thread of the vibration. You said the name David, and that doesn't make any sense to you. You go away. I want someone that can be bright, light, and give guidance and be strong. Come on strong, come on loud, come on clear. But this, Diana, is what I think is going on, is I think you have an ability to be empathic. So what I'm going to suggest you do, and I think there's a few that are going to go like, whoa, this is me, is to go, all right, my goal is to deliver you information. I've got a guide, or let me go in and I'm going to do a read on you, and you're going to empathically tune into the person and say, this is what it feels like to be you. This is my struggles. This is my hardship. This is where I'm going. And I think you just have to go, and roll with it. And then when you're done, then you're going to recognize the thread of truth. You're going to go like, I'm connected. I am dialed in. And then you're going to, when you're done with it, you're going to disconnect, pull back. Now watch my other videos that were about, cleansing and clearing and grounding your energy and all that. And then you're going to disconnect, but you're going to ask, did that make sense to you? Because I want you to just really get in the water. And I feel like you're feeling not confident and you're feeling like you struggle. But the fact that you did Reiki 1 and 2, the cool thing is that you'll know about cleansing energy and sensing energy. I hope it was that kind of a Reiki class, because sometimes instructors don't teach that, but I want you to start really working with energy fields and feeling energy and feeling when you're connected or disconnected, or what are you getting from the energy of the read, or the read take on the energy field that you're picking up. Those are my suggestions. And that's where I'm going to stop. God, I hope that was helpful. I should go to California and meet you. That would be cool. All right. Jeez. Listen, when you send your content-related questions, you see, otherwise I have to really go in like, or maybe I just do. That's what I do. So at the end, I'll have to like totally clear and be like, all right, I'm not going to drag Diana around with me. She's going to be like, God, I can't get in my body. Someone feels like someone's like in my energy field reading me. And it would be, that's Constance. So to send your content-related questions in, make sure you're clear with your questions so that I don't have to go, wait, are you saying this or are you saying that? Because it just takes time for me to do that. And then I have to go clairpenser and read your mind. Watch the video if you don't know what I'm talking about. And then make sure you tell me your name and where you're from. I'd love to know just the state, I'd just like to know. So you can send that in through constancemessmer.com. So this question is another one on meditation and connecting. It's Lisa from California. Another California girl. Love it. Though I know I've been connected spiritually my whole life. Yay. Oh, my hand's hot, Lisa. Have just begun my quest to consciously connect to spirit, animals, and nature, i.e. trees. Girl after my own heart. Totally right there with you. I'm a tree girl too. I use a pendulum. Great. I pull cards. Great. I am taking a shamanic class. Great. I am heading off to a silent retreat. I know it's scattered. That's not scattered. It's not scattered. It's not scattered. Follow your heart and it will lead you. It will not lead you astray. So no, it's not scattered at all. Plus, just you do you. So that's not scattered to me. If it feels scattered to you, then pull it back and realign and reassess, but it doesn't feel scattered to me. The question is about meditation. What's the process and or difference between sitting in non-thinking meditation, prayer, and sitting to connect with spirit. I don't seem to be able to meditate and clear my mind. It's always going in with a running narrator. Thanks. So my question is to you, Lisa, what's your goal? That will help you decide what type of meditation or sitting to connect with spirit, what do you want to do? What's the goal? Is your goal to connect and get information, or is your goal with meditation to calm your nervous system, to come to a quiet place so you can bring that stillness into your day-to-day experience so that you can have heightened awareness to everything going on around you? So that's the huge thing. So sometimes people sit in non-thinking meditation, which to me is different than prayer. Prayer is raising your heart and mind to God, or or immersion prayer, I guess, would be silence. I've done that too, which is raising my heart and mind to God, but not source energy, whatever you want to call, but not going in for conversation. So I've done, I guess I shouldn't say, I think prayer too it could be either conversation or rote prayer or immersion, which is just blending. To me, I call it immersion. It's when I blend my energy with God and the angels. You see what just happened there? Because I just did it. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so yummy, right? It's such a yummy frequency. It's so yummy. Oh my God, they make me weep. That place makes me weep because there's so much love and peace. And it's all right? So what's the process and or difference? First is what's your goal? What's your intention? And then going into that. So I'll cover this in future teachings, but the process for connecting with spirit would be the same thing, setting aside a time for a dedicated practice. I have a video on your dedicated practice where you set aside time, light a candle. I lit a candle before this. Namaste. I honor the divine in you. And when you're in that place in you and I'm in that place in me, we are one. So, the process is it's in a video. I taught it. I'll teach it again. You're gonna have to trust me on that. All right? You're gonna have to trust me on that. Because Lisa, it's all about intention. You're gonna be fine. Did you have I've begun my quest to consciously connect to spirit. Yeah. I hope that answered it enough. So Dusty is from Oaks in the United States. Oakes. This is kind of long. Bear with me. And if you've just joined, it's Constance Messmer here, and I've been a teacher of psychic development and soul senses and greater spiritual connection for a very long time. So I'm teaching you everything I know. And I do these monthly Q&As. And so people have written in through my website, constancemessmer.com, and submitted their questions. And so I'm reading and answering as best I can, with also sourcing information from spirit realm. I have experienced different things such as smelling popcorn, cigarette smoke, all kinds of things. So one time, there's a lot of things what's happened. My psychic, so instead of me telling you, this is Dusty's telling me about a lot of experiences where things were happening that other people weren't registering, but Dusty was, so that's cool. So my psychic experiences happen when I'm in like a daydream state. Yep, that's your altered consciousness, right? Unless you're going, all right, I'm going to do this right now. Otherwise, it happens to you, I'm getting. Unless you're like focused, like I'm going to be aware today, or I'm going to give a reading today, or I'm going to sit and talk with so-and-so who's passed, or my guide, or whatever. So why do I sit down and meditate and try to connect and get info and it never happens? I'm 52 and never experienced anything as a child other than maybe a little empathic and so there's those. Okay, so when I meditate to try to connect and get info, it never happens, but I have all these things happening. I think you should be okay with that, Dusty, unless it really is struggling for you. Sometimes people are more active. They get information when they're out of the blue, or driving in the car, in the shower, walking through the woods, contemplating. Some of my best meditations were not when I was sitting in a chair. I did that initially a lot to, really work on the different frequencies of spirit and to have specific dialogue and have experiences of like, show me a past life that I need to remember, tell me why, let's look at it. Is there a healing I need to do? Apologies that need to happen? What chakra do I need to look at? Let me look in the chakra, stuff like this. But a lot of times it's when I'm out in my day-to-day world and I'm just like, having things happen. And you say even, Dusty, that you have had dreams. Definitely we get information in dream time. But also, I think it's because two things are happening. Because you say, why do I sit down to try to meditate and never have things happen? But it happens when I'm in like a daydream state. It could be a million things without me looking on a soul level at you. It could be a million things. It could be this is how you wanted to experience in this lifetime. Because you worked so much in other lifetimes that maybe you were just like, yeah, I'll just dabble until I really want to do something with it and harness it. And I think that you're at that place now. And I think I said a million times, but never finished my sentence. A lot of my best connections was when I was walking in the woods. I'd just go on these meditation journeys. I'd have my dog with me. He would be off leash. We live in a remote part of the world, and it's pretty quiet. So he would be off leash and we'd be walking and I'd be in it, talking, looking around, talking to the tree that we passed or talking to spirit. And so I think that, this whole thing, I agree with you, walking in the woods with Stephen, is that there's just this beautiful thing that can happen when our energetic frequency feels at peace enough to open up more. And so I would encourage you to recognize what's happening just before you're having these connections about smelling the smoke, the popcorn. Were you tuned in to smell the popcorn, or were you just like at work and things were just kind of in a relaxed state and all of a sudden you were like, oh my God, I'm smelling popcorn. Those were the moments. Those are the moments that I would take your time to go in and go, ooh, having a psychic experience. I'm in that space. What is this about? Tell me more. And so I would take your meditation time off the chair, off the mat, into your day-to-day life while the experience is happening, because the connection is being made, whether it's your higher consciousness dipping into these arenas and these liminal spaces, or spirits trying to get in touch with you. With a friend, heard someone say, hey, and the dog was growling, and you heard it, I would take those moments to go, ooh, spirit's contacting me. Okay, what's up? Who's here? What's this? I feel like you're incredibly protected so that you're not really worried about this. But, I think it's, I think you're on it. I think the cool thing about even your glitter particles in the air moving around, clairvoyance, that's a clairvoyant experience of spirit, or experiences, asking your wise self, what's happening? What is that? What should I do next? What could I do next? What do I need to know? What's happening in this moment? And can I be of service? All of these things, I think, Dusty, will help you kind of work on that. I wouldn't get too bogged down with when you're sitting to meditate, and noticing when you're walking and talking and connecting and you're having it happen is in those moments. You could certainly ask, why doesn't it happen in my meditation time? And you could also set the intention now to go, listen, I want to work with one specific guide that aligns with my frequency, that can come forward and work with me on my skill set. And then allow that guide to just infiltrate your thoughts throughout the day, so that when you're having these experiences, you can go, oh, there you are. And, can we talk about my meditation time? And it's just also, I think that you don't like boring life. So you think like there's a part of you that's like, I don't have the patience to sit. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be who you are in these moments. So that's really important, is honoring your journey. And, even though I say it's great to sit in your spiritual practice, it's also great if you're a mover like me. There's days that I have to have walking meditation. I'm just like too antsy, or maybe it's too much coffee. But I'm a mixed bag. Like sometimes I like to just go into churches and, synagogues or wherever, spiritual places. Outside of Morocco, I would hold onto the walls of the mosques and just like tune into the vibe and just be transported. I mean, in Native American sites, the sweat lodges, just places on the planet, they're just calling us. And I think that all of these places provide opportunity for a vibrational shift because we're just being opened up in these spaces, right? So honor what's happening in the moment. Be present to what is your journey. So good on you. So this is Amanda in getting reads from others. Okay, I remember scanning this one. I was like, whoa. Amanda from Florida. I hope you're watching, or I hope you can see this. And then those of you that are chiming in about nature walks and listening to the birds and seeing the birds, yeah, some of my best conversations are with birds. How's that? Or rocks, or water. We're all mystics. I love it. Thank you. And thank you for giving, Inspired Rising. You are so sweet. I love the giving. I appreciate that because it takes a lot to put the content out. So Amanda from Florida. Hi, Constance. Thank you for your content. It's so very helpful. You're very welcome, Amanda. I have had a few experiences recently that cannot be explained. Very bizarre, but I am not in fear, which I feel like should be. But I'm glad you're not, which makes you should go into that. Like, oh, it's because you trust. I can feel it already. I have recently spoken to a psychic medium who is also an angelic and galactic channeler. She told me it was an ET encounter. Extraterrestrial encounter. I am all new to this and want to make sure I am not being scammed, as she is regularly $250 an hour. Due to my financial situation, she is going to give me a discount, but eventually I will need to pay the full price. How do I maneuver my situation to ensure I am getting the right help? Thank you for your time, Amanda. Well, I used to charge when I did reads in person or over the phone or remotely on Zoom or whatever. I was $200 an hour. That was a while ago. I think the most important thing is if you're asking me, that's like a whoop, 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 caution. So maybe you don't trust it. How did it feel when she told you it was an ET encounter? Did that resonate with you? Did it not resonate with you? Were you like, is it something that you're interested in, intrigued by, okay with? I think you have to look at your filters of what ET encounters might seem like, because old school was, might have been more scary or odd or weird, but now anymore, think about the Star Wars bar where they're all like chatting, hanging around, and it's just different. But it's also different frequencies of vibration. I know friends of mine that I'm like, oh wow, you are not from this planet. You are not from this planet, and that's okay because you're here to learn or collect information or teach new things and all that stuff. So I don't know how many people are really from Earth as their foremost first planet. But I think that you could consider, how do you feel about having one of your guides be an off-planet being? What does that feel like? And does that resonate with you, Amanda? Also, what I would do is I would check Google reviews on this person, this galactic angelic channeler. Those are two wildly different frequencies. Angelic is not galactic. And so I would be curious as to the style of information and who they're channeling in those moments. Very, very different frequencies. So I'm not disparaging them. I'm just saying I understand why you're concerned. So I would look at Google reviews on the person or Facebook reviews, and I would ask them if the reading includes an audio recording, because that will tell you if they're worth their salt. If they stand by their words enough that they're okay with being recorded. I didn't want anyone to have a video recording of my words, but I always audio recorded and sent them an MP3 file. I just didn't want them to have, I want to have control over my curls and the distribution of my image, right? And when I channel, like when I let something like an off-planet being or a being that I'm like, whoa, one of your guides is from off-planet, let me go there. I might give a really quirky look because holding their energy might be is vastly different than holding angelic energy. Let me just put it that way. Or hearing from, your Uncle Sam or whatnot. So I think that it's important that someone, but I would always give audio recordings, because there's no way when this stuff comes in, it's fast usually. Like when I give information, I was like, there is no way you can take notes fast enough. Take notes in case the recording doesn't hold, but it's fast. So ask them if they do a recording, because that will mean that they stand behind their work so much that they are on it. Ask if you can't afford the $250 and you're feeling like, how does it feel? How does it feel? clairsentiment and clairsensation. Does it feel like, ooh, put yourself in the reading with them and go, oh, this feels right in my heart, or this feels yucky, or, how does it feel to you? Use your psychic spidey senses to know, do I even want to enter into relationship? Let alone do I trust them, but do I want to enter into a vibrational space with them? And then ask them if they would do a 30-minute reading, so it's less money. And sometimes for someone doing a reading, the first part is like kind of getting into the energy frequency. But I've done 30-minute reads. I did kitchen table tarot to teenagers or people that were, 18 or whatever. But usually it was teenagers that wanted to get, because they were just like, I'm 16, but can I get I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll do a tarot reading back in the day. And so, you can get a lot in 30 minutes too. So maybe they can give a 30-minute if you're interested still. But also too, does this woman, when they said that, and not only just the information that they relayed, but also when you were in their presence, is it an uplifting presence? Do you feel like, wow, this person, I feel like I could trust her, talk to? And so it's really recognizing what was your take on her vibe, right? And then if the words of an ET encounter resonated with you. So right now, I'm actually doing a little dip into your energy field, Amanda, to see if always I would be the teacher that says, you sit with your guides. Because if they're willing to talk to her, because Amanda, she shouldn't talk to, how do I say this? When I used to do reads for people, I would tune into their guides. I wouldn't use my guides as a medium for me to get medium, like to deliver messages. I wouldn't do this four-way conversation. I would surround myself with angels and light, but I would go to their guides. If they had a guide, I would go, okay, who's around them? Oh, they want to talk. Here's the deal. They want to talk about what recently happened, Amanda, these experiences, blah, blah, blah. And so if she can talk to them, so can you. And yes, you're thinking, oh, but that's a skill set, and she's had all these years of experience. Well, if they really want to connect with you and talk to you, then they're going to talk to you directly. So do I trust her? The Spirit's not letting me say. They're saying, what do you think, Amanda? Which is always good, right? It's always good. So those are the things I do. Check the Google reviews and Facebook reviews, and what was your vibe, and what do you think, and will she record, and then pull back and sit with that a while. Give me a sign. My guides, angels, this is you talking, Amanda. Give me a sign that this is the person I should go to and get a reading from, and that it'll be fine. And then also say to your angels, listen, I really want direction on what's happening here. So I'd like to be connected to you talking, Amanda. I'd like to be connected to my own high-level guides that can come forward and give me information and direction on these experiences that have been happening, because I know that they're happening for a reason. I know I'm ready. I know the force fields are opening up, and I've come to do great work. This is you, Amanda. But I need assistance, because it's not good to just airdrop these experiences on me. I need to comprehend them. And so asking to be connected to your highest being that can ground you in truth of the experience so that you can learn from it all would be my suggested move, of course. But again, if you're feeling like, I'll try it. But it sounds the concern is the $250 an hour. That's why the Google reviews in regards to scam, not scam. And if she records and gives you the recording. I would have people say, oh my gosh, I still listen to your recording, and some of the stuff I was like, no, that's not right. What is Constance saying? And then, oh my gosh, a couple of years later, there it came. I said, yeah, because Spirit knows that you're never coming back or I'm not going to, maybe I'll stop working before you can get back to me. So yeah, a lot of times I was like, listen, this information, I'd get it in advance of the read. I'd say, listen to them. I'm getting this information is good for 3 months, 3 years. So I'm going to give you advanced information coming through here. Because sometimes people, they weren't on board with what they were hearing because it was life-changing stuff and they weren't ready, but it took a few years for them to be ready, and then the magic started happening. So that was always interesting. So I just want to remind you that if you like my content, definitely subscribe. And if you become a member, that would be great. I have all sorts of different tiers for good financial reasons, but nothing I don't think extravagant. Unless you've got buku bucks and want to join for $500 a month to help support the content, that would be cool. I would not say no. But please, definitely you can share. Subscribe is easy peasy, right? And share my lessons. share the video links or the whatnot and everything. And definitely you can get my newsletter through constancemessmer.com. I put out a monthly newsletter, and you can certainly connect here on Facebook and Instagram. No, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. That's great. And LinkedIn. I give a lot of great content out on LinkedIn too. So this is a question coming in. All the links to those social media platforms are through my website, constancemessmer.com. Hey, shout out to my mother. You see this blouse? I got this blouse, well, I can't talk. It's a Bowden, and I think it's a British company, and I love it, and it's such quality material. I've had it for ages. I've had it so long that I wore it for several years, and then I was like tired of it because it's pretty, like, that's a lot going on, right? And then my mom borrowed it for a while. We share clothes a lot. So she borrowed it for several years, and then I borrowed it back, so now it's mine. So hi, Mom. It's so funny. It's so adorable. So, okay. Here's another question. Thanks for listening, Mom. Thanks for having one more child. One of four. One more. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy, for telling me my blouse is pretty. Thanks. I was like, I need color, but I'll calm it down with a little navy jacket. I'm hot. Look at how pink I am. Like, whew. I could put my curls up. That would be great. Before I get into the last few questions. I don't know if I can do this. So this question comes in from Rachel, born in England. I don't know if I like this look either. I love that. It's so goofy. Wow. Okay, whatever. Let's just do this for a while. It's like totally like an antenna going out to the places. So this, I just want to thank you all for joining in. There's a lot more people joining in, and I love it. I love you first-time listeners. Fabulous, fabulous. So appreciate you. I'm grateful. So there's a ton of new names. Thank you again, or a ton of new people names. I can't even talk. People joining in, and I'm inviting you to subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and it just helps with the content, right? I deliver quite a lot of messages. I'm giving you all this content for free to help you on your journey in life. And my hair is so funny. So thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing the content, and thanks for subscribing. You help curb the cost, and I so appreciate you. So, and then if you're really into it, you can buy one of these books, my Some Dogs Talk. And look at, I have balloons happening on my Facebook monitor. I think it's hilarious. So I have... they keep coming up. Spirit is sending us balloons, everyone. Happy birthday to whoever's birthday it is, or maybe it's celebratory. So I have a book, Your 11 Soul Senses, and also Some Dogs Talk. They're both available, self-published, looking for a publisher and an agent to start my other books rolling out. So they're available also through my website, constancemessmer.com. You're so funny. Rachel, born in England, writes in and says, I've received a message this morning, just your name a few times over and over, so I Googled your name and then I found you. Oh, that's so cool. I have so many people that say, I was praying for guidance, and you showed up in my news feed, or my feed, or however it all works. And I'm like, so cool, right? We found each other. Because I've been looking for you. I'm like, where are my people? Where are my people? So I'm looking for you first. So that's the deal. So I'm getting chills. So I have listened to your God YouTube video. I have a couple but definitely when I went in, I was like, I was watching TV, and I was sitting with my boyfriend. We were watching TV on the couch. And I'm like, oh, God, Spirit, somebody's bothering me. Someone's, because I felt the energy coming at me. And I was like, when it was coming kind of from my treatment room, so I knew I was supposed to go in my treatment room because I worked out of my home, cottage business. And I was like, someone wants to talk. And I was just really going, can't you see I'm watching TV? And I wasn't tuning into who it was. And I'm watching TV. And I'm like, listen, this is really, they're strong. They're really forced to be reckoned with. So I have to go talk to them, and then I'll be right back to watch the TV show. Or maybe it was a movie and he paused it, and I was like, I'll be right back. And I go in, and it was God. I was like, ooh, sorry, I kept you waiting. It was pretty powerful. I forget what the video is called, but it's in the playlist. Check it out. So I've listened to your God video and felt to message you, as I have had many experiences since very, very small. Well done, Rachel. I hope you get this message, and I'm wondering if you have a message for me from God. Don't give up. Don't give up, Rachel. That's what I want to tell you. That's what I hear. Don't give up. Don't give up. I have tried to be a healer to people. Yes, you are a healer. You don't even have to try. But are you saying I've tried to, yeah, Chris is sharing a link in the YouTube website or YouTube thread about my God visit. You are a natural healer, Rachel. But I think you're also saying do it as a business or do it in a volunteer. In a volunteer way. I used to do, when I taught Reiki students, we would have clinics so that they could start their own collection of healing stories and case studies, because I did a lot of case studies. So that might be an interesting thing, Rachel, before I even go on, is to have a modality, because it's better to have a modality sometimes, I found, because I was like, no one's going to believe I can just sit down and read them. I'm going to have a modality. So I studied Reiki, and then I studied Bowen, remedial therapy. And then I was like, oh, good. Now I'll get them in the door, and then I'll say, listen, I get these psychic hits now and again when I'm working in your energy field. Can I tell you what I'm getting? And then that's when everything happened. Like, loved ones that had passed, past life regression, everything started happening for me. So you already are a healer, Rachel. I think learning a trade might be beneficial. It will also help you, especially an energy thing. You're an empath, and so you pick up a lot of people's emotions. I think you carry a lot of weighted trauma from a lot of different vibrations, whether your own family, your neighborhood, your community. I wouldn't watch the news if I were you. It's too much for you. But if you do watch the news, just send light and love and say one day they'll wake up and they'll be kinder, because yours is about being kinder. So. But I think in learning an energetic modality, it'll benefit you and what you want to bring to the world. So I have tried to be a healer to people, but I found out that I was one of the last survivors of Atlantis, and I am healing this lifetime. Oh, sister, I think I knew you there. I am very familiar with Atlantis. I'm drawn to crystals, but I use them, and they're just like the second thing. It's just organic, innate. It's like this communal relationship. So Atlantis, I'm right with you. One of the last survivors. Oof. And look, here you are now. I get it. I understand why you're here now then. The world needs people like you. And that I'm healing this lifetime. Yes. I think definitely I agree that you're healing in this lifetime. And you're saying I always feel like I would very much like to help others, but I've been healing myself. Girlfriend, it is that kind of a journey, isn't it? I am with you. We are one. I think that a lot of times healers are working on their own healing, because that is what purifies the vessel in our own fire. Nobody's perfect. There's never going to be a perfect time. You just kind of dive in, right? But you do have to decide, if you do decide to do healing work and get trained in a format that resonates with you, ask for guidance. Your wise self will know. You're so surrounded by angels. Oh my God, that you'll know, like, lead me to the right class, to the right teacher, the right compassionate group. You're very much a sensitive and empath, and ask to be guided. You can even say, find me someone that will give me a break, free in exchange for something. And then I used to do clean horse stalls in exchange for horseback riding lessons. That was cool. And so then I think you do help people. I'm like, Spirit, what just happened? And it just went like the connection. You saw it, right? I was like, what happened? It's because, like, I'm seeing 4 guides show up, and one is telling me that you're not alone. Man, my hands are so hot right now. I mean, Rachel, you wrote this, but you wrote this for a lot of people that are feeling this right now. You're very empathic. You're very much a healer. I'm sure you are healing yourself, so you're going to need to learn your boundaries. This is where this went, but Spirit wanted me to say this is not just for you, Rachel. This is for a boatload of people, tons of people, buckets on all the continents. of the world, where it's about really feeling your way through your healing journey and knowing boundaries and claiming your boundaries and knowing those moments when you need to breathe, knowing those moments when you just need to turn everything off and step away and just work on your own nurturing and healing and laughter and joy, and not be responsible for, was I perfect today? Was I, who did I need to help out? Because you're just a natural helper healer. So your vibrational frequency being on the planet is replenishing for people. So, it's just this whole thing of being available to yourself while you're available to others. So, and guess what? You get to choose. Like I just said, you would be awesome as a healer. You can do whatever you want. You're a grown up. I see your life choices. You got a lot of split offs from your life. So you're like all these different choices of options. The healing one would be phenomenal. But if you chose to just be for you, you can. No wrong choices, right? But I've always lived by the thought of like, no regrets. Like if I think it's going to take a lot of effort to write these books and all this content that's in my head. But if I don't, I'll regret it. Like I'll be like, shit, I forgot to live my life. Ooh, can I say that word on it all? Yeah. So that's what I would say. So thank you in advance. So and then you said, unfortunately, my ego got a bit in the way a few years ago, so much I was going to leave. And then I have some kids that I did not want them to experience this. So I think you mean leave the planet, not just leave the family. And so I feel you. I feel you. It's a lot. It's a lot because I'm a mother and I do this work and I do healing, and it's a lot. And I'm like you, empath, and feel it. So Rachel, I'm glad you're sticking around. I think that you're a very strong empath, and as you heal your heart, your vibrational presence will automatically help heal those around you. So personal work is always, that's what you're here for, right? Honestly. And so I think you resonate with crystals. I think I think you've got this huge calling to help, and whether that means volunteer work or getting financial reward or getting some kind of a barter for that is up to your efforts. I can see you like in soup kitchen or just being the uplifting person. It feels like there's a massive energy exchange. When you help, you get fed, you get help, you get fed, you get help, you get fed. And so, whether it's soup kitchen or volunteering, reshelving books at the library or animal shelters. Ooh, no. That you have an interesting relationship with animals. I don't think you can handle them in cages, even at shelters, right? So part of me was like, maybe you could walk at the animals. There's just you and there, and it was just like, no, it's just this interesting relationship. So find out if you want to, find out where you want to take your journey. I highly recommend an energy healing class so that you can learn to work. I did the videos on energy and auric field. My whole playlist on empaths, I think, would be helpful for you. And I definitely wonder if I even answered your question. What was the question? Oh, do you have a message for me from God? That was all. That was all. That was it. Don't leave. I adore you. Don't leave. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but your life has purpose. Huge value. And I hear you. It's not easy, right? It's not always easy, but when you get in the groove of finding the easy, then it's gorgeous. And it's in the flow, and it's miraculous. And I was driving along yesterday, and I have this sign on my mantle here in the office space. And what does it say? It says something like, not to spoil the ending, but everything's going to turn out all right or something. And I'm driving along and I'm having a really hard time. And it was in the rain and on the interstate. And I hate driving in the rain on the interstate because it's so much focus and I like to, whatever. And it's all these 4 lanes and I'm driving and I'm just thinking about all the videos that I want to record for you all and live coming up today and the books I want to write and the short form videos and just everything. And I'm a mom of 3 kids and, 3 of them have just relocated, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And out of the corner of my eye, I was like, gosh, I wish I had a camera as quick as that. There was this sign, like someone put on a billboard, everything's going to be okay. And I know that they were putting that out to now what's going out across the planet with politics and, you know, social injustice and everything and everything and everything and everything. But I was like, wow, that was for me. That's my message. Everything's going to be okay. So I want to tell you that it's your message too, everyone that needs to hear it, and definitely you, Rachel, and who was originally born in England. It's everything's going to be okay. It's no wrong answers. So, but also, you know, no regrets. So, Beth from Massachusetts, USA. And I just want to remind you, listen, I have got so much, I've got a few more questions that I want to get through, so we are going a little over, and I just want to remind you, for those of you that have just joined, my name is Constance Messmer. You can check out my website, constancemessmer.com, and I've had mystical experiences my entire life, and my journey and my purpose in life is to teach. Teach and empower you, because we're body and soul, and if you only live through your physical senses, you're missing half your life. So my work is to empower you. And I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad we're sharing this journey. I so appreciate you. Otherwise, it'd just be like not being able to do my work. Okay, now my head hurts for this, so I'm going to make the hair go down. It's so bad. No, look at this. This is so funny. My curls are for you, Mom. I let my curls loose today for you. So this is Beth from Massachusetts. Just discovered your YouTube, and I'm loving it. Thank you, Beth. I'd welcome any advice from Spirit regarding talents and abilities, particularly art for me. Talents and abilities. Well, girl, if you feel you got it, then you definitely have it. I've always been very drawn to the mystical, cool, and have years of tarot and astrology practice. Nice. But seems like I can't, you know, tarot is just a tool of divination. You can use tarot, you can use pendulums, you can throw the I Ching. You can also just tune in. They're tools of divination, and as are you. You're a vessel of divination because you are connected to all that. So there's that. Astrology practice, but I've thrown tarot too. I love tarot. It's just fun. I love the stories. I use the Mythical Tarot deck. It's out of print right now, which I wish it wasn't. And I'm actually working on a few decks, oracle decks for you, but we'll see. Too much on my to-do list. So I've always been drawn to these, but seems like I can't get the momentum going with my art. I dip in classes, setting up home studio, et cetera, but lose my oomph. Then I dream of it again and find it difficult to get started, even though I know I'm good at it and capable of being very good at it. Good on you. I know it's a soul calling to channel higher consciousness through art and help others in doing so. Yay, Beth. This is my dream, ! Help! Feeling stuck before I really start. Thank you and blessings, Beth. So what I would do is watch my video on the sacral chakra because this sacral chakra has to do with creativity and new beginnings. And so you might have some, you know, murky energy in there that you need to look at, maybe past lives where you didn't feel the competence enough or trust your instincts in regards to your artistic endeavors. Maybe you were studying the craft in an ancient lifetime where there was a specific thing that was accepted and you were more outlandish and far-fetched by their words, but by yours it was just what you were capable of doing, and you were meant to bring a new medium forward and a new perspective forward. I think there's that murkiness in there, so I would sit with your hands on your sacral chakra. It's a couple inches below your belly button, but you probably know this because you're in the work. I would look at that. And I would also put one hand, maybe your right hand on your sacral chakra and your left hand on your solar plexus. Solar plexus, watch the videos on both of those. That's why I've taught the lessons, gang, is solar plexus is personal power, self-esteem, who you are, what you came to do. I would definitely put your hands on both of those places and really go also into your heart chakra in regards to safety and security. It just feels like you've got some specific specific things that you've come in regards to this. So you were gifted with the talents and abilities to this, hands down. You've done art in so many lifetimes. Can I just tell you, so many lifetimes? And you've been a seer, and you've brought other people into this mystical expression in dance and creativity in countless creative forms. And so I definitely encourage you to go, and anyone struggling, right, with using their talents and abilities to to not only your advantage, but to advantage of the planet. Because the more people that are happy and aligned with their truth and what they've come to do, the better vibration all across the board will be on the planet. It'll be great, Beth. So you're part of that, you're part of that recipe for happiness on the planet. Because what you do will resonate and assist others on their journey in helping find their path. So that'll be cool. So look at the sacral, look at the solar plexus chakras, tune it into your heart, sitting guidance. And listen, so for some of you that are movement therapy people, because Beth, I feel like also too, you need to move, like you're active. So it feels as if you can put the question to your higher self to get you the answers of these chakras, and then let the information come to you. If it doesn't come in a sitting practice, people always say, let me be open and aware of it to come in my dream time, while I'm driving, while, be like, oh, that thought just dawned on me. Oh, funny, where'd that thought just come from? Higher consciousness or guides or angels, your chakra that's been trying to talk to you, this part of you, this former past life that's trying to say, you used to do this, but you were never honored, and this is the time of honoring. And sometimes, Beth, sometimes when we have that in there, stuck in there, then it's like, why even start? It never amounted to anything before. I've been here, done this before, but this is the lifetime that it's all supposed to come together. So I encourage you to just dive into that. And because you wouldn't be having that calling, especially soul calling, to channel higher consciousness through art and help others in doing so. I can't wait to see your work. Keep me posted. Very cool. So I hope that was helpful. So very, very good. I think there's many of you that can relate to that when you've got a soul calling. This comes from Jan from Toronto, Ontario. Yay! Canada family. Hello, Constance and team. Thank you so much for your time and effort in supporting our spiritual learning and growth. We appreciate you. Right back at you. Because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. Who would I talk to? So it's all good. I have been having visions of myself doing spiritual work for some time now, specifically communicating telepathically with nonverbal children and supporting their holistic well-being within the school system. I am a teacher and former registered nurse. Very cool. Can't wait, because Jan, in, is it June? March, April, May, June. End of June, beginning of July. My new content's coming out gangbusters on telepathic communication. So make sure you tune in on that one. That'll be great. I get glimpses and visions of this path. Nice. That's your soul and spirit and all of the kids that you're going to help, tapping you on the shoulder. And the beauty that unfolds from it. I get glimpses and visions of this path and the beauty that unfolds from it. Yeah, it'll be incredible. We need you. But I'm having a hard time understanding how to ground this into reality. How to ground it into reality. My question for you, why would one have visions of something that feels so out of reach? Do you know, I saw myself in front of stages well before I started this podcast and YouTube and social media outreach. I was like, why am I sitting here doing reads on Martha's Vineyard and doing small group when I'm supposed to do large group? Like, I kept seeing it, and I was like, when is that going to happen? What do I need to do, right? Oh, I'm glad you love the newsletter. Thank you so much. So I put out a monthly newsletter, a lot of content in there, a lot of shares. So good. If you haven't signed up already, go to my website, constancemessmer.com. So why would one have visions of something that feels so out of reach? It's about timing. I yearn to do this work, but don't have a foggy clue how to. This is a real crisis of faith and patience, though I can't get it out of my head and heart. Any insight you could share would be greatly appreciated. Thanks kindly, Jan. So don't give up. You are meant to do this. You're meant to inspire not only the nonverbal children that you're going to work with, but the family systems that they are involved in, and other people and teachers. And who knows, Jan, you might start a whole thing in the school system, right? Go Canada, open to these coolness things. that then as it takes itself across the world. Like, let me just say that. You might be like, all right, not only am I going to do this, I'm going to teach others to do this and lean into that because it's time. It's time. So Spirit's giving you this and has given you this over time to show you that it's coming, to ask, are you interested in this? Are you interested in this? So you say, like I said, yes, bring it on. Bring it on. Keep me clear. Keep my ego out of it. Let me know what I need to do. And then like I have this Messmer's manifesting guide that you can get through the newsletter and use that to manifest this life that you want. Go to the ConstanceMessmer.com website, sign up for the newsletter, and then I'll send you, or it has a link, or I don't know how it works. You'll have a link to the manifesting guide. I'm just the messenger. My team does all that stuff, but you'll get it and then use those, apply those steps. Listen, I could write a book on manifesting, right? But this is just a quick PDF, quick tip thing. But it will be enough for you to start the ball rolling, because it's about first committing. Like you've said that, I would just set this real ritualistic intention. Like that time, I think I was telling you, I think if you saw the video where I was driving along and I was like, okay, I'm done playing, bring it on. If I'm going to consecrate my life to this work. And so you do the same, Jan, if it feels right for you. Say, I am consecrating my life to this work. And bring it on, keep me clear, keep my ego out of it. I will to will thy will. Now, you can say that to source energy or your higher self or the cause, whatever. I did it to, God, because to me it was God-driven work, this that you're all seeing. So, and then set aside time each week. This is specific, Jan. Set aside time each week, read the manifesting guide, do the steps, but it's about really leaning into the time. And so create time to sit down with your higher self or spirit, or ask for divine guidance or a guide that can help you, that's meant to help you create a business plan for this and steps. And then this is a weekly thing that I'm encouraging you to sit down and take notes on your board meeting of you with your guides. And, so it'll be thoughts that come in your head, write it down, have your dedicated notebook. Maybe, look, you can grab one of mine, in it for the highest and best good, or this is the one I was looking for. Who you are is what you came to do, or even, what if you are the divine plan? You are the divine plan. We all are, but you gotta do this. This has been put on your heart for a reason, and the time is perfect. The timing is absolutely perfect. So do all of those things. I hope you took notes or that made sense. This recording will be. Oh, and Spirit's saying, I pulled an angel card for you because they were like, pull an angel card, and it's expectancy. So expect a gift. When you say I want to do this, and then the Spirit comes to meet you, but your heart and your head have to be in alignment. You don't have to worry about how the details are going to be worked out. You just have to be like, this is what I want to do. Okay, I'm on board. And then what happens is then the angels can line it up for you, but you have to be open to their communication. So it's really tapping into your soul senses. You'll see more about that in the manifesting guide. It's awesome. I'm excited for you. Did I answer your question? All right. So look, I picked it up again. So let me see. I yearn to do this work, but don't have a foggy clue how to. Yeah, it's really crisis of faith and patience. No. It's just about setting aside dedicated time. Thank you. It's Samuel. When I decided to do this for work, and I would sit in my meditation time, and I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I wasn't orchestrating it. Listen, I'm just the messenger. So I would say yes or no, to what I wanted to do within the work. But I was like, what's for my highest good to do? And bring me the guide that's aligned with my highest truth that can come forward. And it was this guide named Samuel. And I was like, okay, who are you? And he's like, I'm Samuel. And I'm like, okay, cool. Really old guy. And I said, listen, I have female guides, all different shades of skin and all this stuff. And beings that don't associate with either male, female energy. So all this stuff. So Samuel was like, all right, listen, this is what you're going to do. And I would show up with him every day in my meditation time. And so this might just come as you when you're walking and kind of ruminating on the plan, and then you write it down. But I did it in dedicated time of communication connection, and took notes like, oh, and he was like, okay, now you're going to start a class, and this is what it's going to be. It's going to be a psychic development class, and you're going to break down all the clairs, and you're going to teach them, and you're going to have these exercises so people can experience them directly and then resonate, see what works for them. And so Jan, I really think, Jan, that this is what's going to happen with you, is you're going to get a plan, and then you have to make the courageous effort to go in that direction. So you commit it, your heart and your head are in alignment, you set the intention, you work with them, angels, on manifesting, and you sit in a daily practice of taking notes of what's the next step. And one of the next steps was start a business. You need a name, and just stuff like this. So my work on the planet, pause, is to increase psychic competence through contemporary language. And so I get persnickety with the language when I teach you, not only in these videos, but when I'm talking to you in the books, which is why I give you the language that I use so that we can be on the same page. It's important because there's a lot of people that are using what I think is inaccurate language or surface language. And it's really interesting. I was telling a business associate that I like listening sometimes, not often, to people that are being interviewed that are doing the work. And it's always tricky because sometimes when the interviewer doesn't know the work well enough to ask the right questions, then the information lands flat or it's not as accurate as it could be. And I'm just sad about that. So I think I just have to write my books to get them out there more. So here's this. This is from Massachusetts. Hey, my home state. Well, my state now. I grew up in Iowa and Illinois along the Mississippi. So, but this is from Massachusetts. It's Irena. And it says, hi, Constance. I'm grateful for you sharing your compassionate spiritual insights. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Irena. Many people in spiritual groups I've seen online are struggling to differentiate between angels and guides and who is coming through. I know we can ask, are you a guide? Are you an angel? Who are you? But for some new to this, it's often unclear and can become a big hurdle. Do they have different frequencies, and do we feel their presence in our bodies differently? Do they have different frequencies? Absolutely. This is a two-part question, so I'm going to answer this part first. Yes, I am going to actually write a book on connecting and the realms and the different frequencies of vibration. They definitely feel differently. So here's the thing about angels. Their frequency is pretty light, but they can drop it down to be more grounded and feel more grounded. But if it's your first impression of them, typically they are in this higher kind of vibration of that's more wispy, that's more claircognizance, that's not so clairaudience, although it might transpire as clairaudience because they're going to use whatever they need to get the message through to you so that you understand it. Here it goes up again because I'm really getting hot. So look at this little thing, it's so weird. It's but they, you're definitely going to ask, who are you? What, are you a guide or are you an angel when you first make the connection? And then you're going to feel how it resonates, and you're going to check for truth, which is also in my videos of, checking for truth and trickster energy. I'm going to go over that stuff in future videos. Okay, I'm just going to give up on Sarah. It just cracks me up. So, do you feel it differently in your body? I think if I were to say that, I think everybody's going to experience it in the own way that resonates and works for them. Angels will even hold back their frequency to not overwhelm you and freak you out. But definitely, Spirit's saying don't answer that directly. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to answer that directly right now. But a loved one that has crossed, or a person, so guides can be someone that's lived on the planet before. That can be someone that you knew in another incarnation. It could be someone that you knew in this incarnation. Where angels are more frequencies of light, and they've not walked the planet as humans. They can appear as humans if it's, if they choose to, but they're vibrational beings that are just of source energy. But guides are typically, well, their spirit's saying, watch it. It's not always human, right? I know people that have guides that are bears or animals or birds or, you know, yeah. So I'm not going to say that. God, this is tricky. Irena, this is a tricky question. It all depends in the moment. Okay. Also, are there times when it's better to call on one instead of the other? I would say yes, but what do you say? So, personally, this is a little what I'm going to teach in the future. Maybe some of you have heard it anyway out there. We have access to guides that are experts in any area that you want to learn about. You have access to that. And so depending upon what you want guidance on, you could go to, I'd like to be connected to a guide that is, you know, that can help me get on a TED Talk. I could say that. That could get me on a TED Talk. And then I already know what they'll say because we've already talked about that. So I'm like going through the steps before the TED Talk happens. And I think the answer to that also, are there times when it's better to call on one instead of the other? Not necessarily, but you could do this, Irena, is you could say, when you get someone, you could say, are you the person that I could talk to on this? And if they say, no, I'm not, then say, can you introduce me to the being that can guide me on that? And this is such a full, there's so many intricacies to the answer to this question, which is why I'm going to write a book on it. But now I'm going to just go in. Oh, this is nice. Spirit says, do a direct dial. Say, I want to know specifically on I need healing on this thing, or I'm aching in this area of my life. Can I be connected to a guide or an angel that is aligned with my truth that can come forward and give me guidance on this specific thing? And then who shows up, and you check them for truth, and then you enter into the relationship like we do. So if you're in groups and they can't differentiate between guide and angels and who is coming through, they need to develop a relationship. So let's say if you're just entering into mediumship or whatever, and then you're going to tell the frequency. The frequencies of angels are light. They're just massive. When you see them clairvoyantly, they glow bright, where the energy of a guide is more grounded, substantial, earthy, tactile, and not such a fine frequency. They can often come more in a physical form, where angels are more vibrational form and light. So there's those two differentiations. It depends if you see them, hear them, feel them. Yeah, I'm asking if there's any better way to explain this. I think here's what they're saying is the best thing is when you're doing this, and if you're doing this in your own class, even if it's an online class, you can still lean into the energy of the being that's come forward. First of all, you're going to know whether or not you want to lean in and get close. It's kind of like coming, you see someone across the way, and you're supposed to meet them, at a business party or a gathering or whatever, a business meeting, and you're like, do I want to go talk to them? Yeah, there's a draw. So you're going to use the same skill set, right, with spirit. And then as you get closer, you're going to start feeling their auric field. You're going to feel it in spirit, even through an online course. It's the intention of leaning in to pick up the frequency of their vibe, to understand what's their vibrational calling card, if you will, and do you want to get to know them? And it's in that experience, when you're in melding kind of energy field, or even at a distance, like, who are you? Tell me more. And you're going to rattle through the questions of kind of checking the type of being and the level of being that they're coming from, or at how they are, and you're going to know in your heart, is this someone I want to connect with? Is it someone high or low or whatever? Is it a person on the other side? Usually they'll I think a lot of times guides act as angels. Angels can act as guides, but angels are only angels. Guides aren't angels. Loved ones that have crossed don't become angels. They don't, as much as we'd love it. Oh, they're my angel. No, they're your guide. But that's my opinion and my experience from it all. So I feel like I should stop. I feel like I'm rambling just because it's so many nuances. So I promised you a book, but I hope any of that was helpful. It's definitely not. It's not better to call on one instead of the other, except for the type of information you're after. I would definitely work with an angel to work on my work, but I would, and to hold the vibration of a space and to send energy to connect with someone else in regards to a business gathering, or even this work here. I was connecting with angels and your guides to say, have them tune in, nudge them to tune in to today's session and live if there's something in it for them, asking for the highest good. But I use angelic light or work with angels to rep light in on all of this. But then I might go to a guide specifically on the question, and they're laughing at me and with me on this question of yours, because they're like, listen, this is so nuanced. You are going to go down rabbit holes, which I've just done, right? I've just done. So listen, I think that's where we're going to stop. It's also where I have a lot of, Lori, look, Lori, my nurse friend. It's my lipstick that you suggested. Thanks. Lori is like a member who came in and started giving from the very beginning. So I just love it. Listen, if you have any questions that you want me to address for May live, definitely go to the website, constancemessmer.com, and submit your questions there. You can sign up also for my newsletter, find the links to my different platforms. I will post this so you can rewatch. It will probably be in the YouTube playlist under Q&A or monthly Q&A or something like that. I definitely want to see you in person. Look at me go, no. Yeah, I want to see you and love you to see you in person someday. That's my goal. I love your questions. I'm grateful for them. A lot of them will end up in books, because I think more than just you and I would benefit from hearing the answers. And I just want to thank you. I am right now, at the same time I'm talking, I often work on multiple levels. I'm wrapping you all in light and love. I'm wrapping the world in light and love for higher conscious awareness and greater understanding of each of our soul path and our soul work on the planet. Because as you follow your heart and do your true calling of being the incredible person that you were born to be, and following kind of your own personal journey and being brave and bold to follow your joy, the greater your vibrational frequency and the resonance of your heart and joy and peace come across to others on the planet, and you heal not only your own life but others as well. So I am just really, really grateful for you, and for you joining me today, but also being on this journey with me. I hope that my content has helped you. I want to thank you for your time today, because I value your time. I value my time. And I want to remind you that a lot of information is in the playlist. It's content that I've created as a masterclass so that you would have it for when you need it. And definitely you can pray for your own guidance to guide you to what you need to hear, or you can start from the beginning with me and listen all the way through. But I've got a lot of fun material to present in the future in book form, but also video form. And the goal is to get to meet you in person and take my work on the road. So I want you to know that I'm surrounding you with light and love, and definitely healing. And love right back to you. I see all the hearts. And I'm wrapping you in healing. And those of you that need healing from your head to your toe into the planet and our entire planet, and everybody that especially needs it everywhere. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you. It's 1:31. That's my birthday, January 31st. So 1:31 is always a magical hour for me. So that's what I'm going to say. Bye. Thank you so much. And until next time, thanks for tuning in. Okay, now I have to turn it all off. So let's see. Finish. 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 I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. How do I finish? Do I just turn it off? I don't know. Look at me, I'm so confused. Da 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 da. Do I hit that?
Yeah.
Boink. And now. Good. Okay. I don't even know. Kathy, thanks. Kathy and Chris, everyone, thanks. Pressure between the brows.